Warner Robins, Georgia, for the regional playoffs. Then they will, if they win that, they would. And we're not counting our eggs before they hatch. But if they were to win that, they would make it up to Williamsport to the big game that ESPN covers. Tonight, Lake Norman plays Winston-Salem. The winner of that game plays the Tar Heel team tomorrow night for the state championship for the 12-year-olds. Tar Heel has a loss to give. They have not lost yet in the state games, so it's a double elimination. So whoever wins tonight would have to win twice tomorrow night. So I would say the Tar Heel team is in pretty good shape. So congratulations to all the teams. Boy, if you live in Eastern North Carolina, you gotta love baseball. And you know what? You ought to be proud that not only that they're good ball players, but the compliments to the demeanor of the kids that played up in Winston-Salem, it would make you proud. It would make you proud to be from Eastern North Carolina just to hear the compliments. Not, I mean, they played baseball very well, but the compliments toward their character was that really made you smile. So congratulations to all the teams. You got to love baseball if you're in Eastern North Carolina. WITN News is reporting a federal lawsuit is expected to be announced, earlier today surrounding the shooting death of the Elizabeth City man by deputies in April. National civil rights attorneys Ben Crump, Harry Daniels, Bakari Sellers were in Elizabeth City to share news of that filing earlier today, the death of Andrew Brown Jr., and race baiter extraordinaire Wee Willie Barber, who, of course, was in attendance there. I'm sorry to laugh. The suit is asking for $30 million in compensatory and punitive damage. Brown was shot and killed by Pasquotank County deputies on April 21st as they were serving search warrants and arrest warrants related to his drug dealings. The shooting was recorded on deputies' body cameras and showed that Brown was attempting to elude arrest by fleeing in his car. He used his automobile as a weapon, nearly running over deputies. Well, in fact, he did hit a deputy. Pasquotank County District Attorney Andrew Womble reviewed the footage and declined to charge the deputies, I should say, in the case, saying the shooting was justified. Womble said that Brown struck a deputy with his car and nearly ran over him while ignoring commands to show his hands and get out of the vehicle. Brown family attorney Chantel Lassiter, after viewing the body camera footage in April, described Brown's shooting as an execution. And may we note that if this view of the execution is upheld in this lawsuit, Lassiter will surely enjoy the windfall of his percentage of the $30 million. Just saying. This is not an unbiased opinion. This is a very biased opinion. Wow. You know, what's interesting, so you have that story. There is another story in my pile here that took place up in Minnesota where, hold on, be patient, getting there. Minnesota police, I mean, this is a different story, but the change of narrative on these stories, and again, it has a lot to do with this whole narrative of critical race theory, that you've got one race that's completely guilty, you've got another race that's completely innocent. Fox News is reporting Minnesota police released body cam video footage taken during a traffic stop with State Representative John Thompson that raises questions over his claim he was pulled over for, quote, driving while black. Why in such a hurry? Asked the officer. Thompson, a Democrat, in the video filmed July the 4th and released Tuesday by the St. Paul Police Department, said, I don't think I took off like a bat out of hell. I just drove off, Thompson replies. The officer asked Thompson for proof of insurance in the video, which the politician says he's on his phone, and notes that he is a state representative in the district. The officer asked about his Wisconsin driver's license. Now, He's in the state house in Minnesota. He's driving with a Wisconsin driver's license. Nothing really unusual about that. You're suspended. So the officer goes back to his car, comes back 15 minutes later. You're suspended in Minnesota, the officer says after returning to Thompson's car. The state legislator shakes his head no, prompting the officer to say, well, that's what the computer says. If it's wrong, you'll have to deal with the Department of Vehicle Services. Thompson has reportedly never held a Minnesota license, according to documents reviewed by local outlets, and the officer cited him for driving with a suspended Wisconsin license. His license was suspended in 2019 for failure to pay child support in Ramsey County, Minnesota, according to WCCO. Thompson then asked in the video why he was pulled over, which the officer said was due to his car not having a front plate and the way you took off from the light back there. Quote, I'm too old to run from the police, Thompson said. You profiled me because you looked me dead in the face and I got a ticket for driving while black. You pulled me over because you saw a black face in this car, brother. There's no way in hell I'm taking off with you behind me. He looked in his car and busted a U-turn and got behind my car, and that's the reason. The officer then tells the state representative that the interaction is being recorded on a body cam. I know, but what I'm saying is what you're doing is wrong to black men, and you need to stop that. Thank you very much, but this ticket means nothing to me. I guess not. I mean, he drives without insurance. He drives without a valid driver's license. So, yeah, the ticket doesn't mean a whole lot. The body cam footage was released after the St. Paul Chief of Police, Todd Axtell, demanded an apology for Thompson. He said, these aren't accusations I take lightly. I look into the traffic stop. I watched the body cam camera footage, spoke to the sergeant. This stop was made at 1:20 in the morning. So, I mean, at 1:20 in the morning, if you are, and the officer would have been facing the car at a stoplight, and could you tell at 1:20 in the morning whether the person driving, all you're seeing is a silhouette at that point? Can you tell whether the driver is white or black? Yeah. Anyway, the critical race theory is getting a little old. Senator Berger, you know what, let's take a time out. Senator Berger has introduced legislation today that is very interesting, dealing with the whole issue of critical race theory. And yet it's very cut and dry. It is pretty much common sense legislation, and yet Democrats are opposed to it. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. Stay with us.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet, because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Passalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also, from the bar to the two dining areas. You got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Marabello's and the great pizza that you get at Marabello's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit topdogonline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's.
Back to the show that really makes you think.
He is a genius.
He's all powerful.
He brought a kind of heat.
He could be the best. Just don't hurt yourself, okay? More news and views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in, 5:20, and taking a look at your weather forecast. It's going to be pretty much as it's been for the last couple of days. Highs are going to be in the low 90s. A chance of an afternoon thunder shower coming through. The good news is tonight is going to be a perfect night, an absolutely perfect night with a low around 73, partly cloudy skies, a perfect night to go out and listen to some music on the town common. With us is, once again, Mark Miller from 107.9. He is down at the town common in Greenville and getting ready to kick off with the Embers. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? Man, this is always a great. I would look forward to this time, this specific performance every year on the Concert on the Common calendar with the Embers featuring Craig Woolard. The audience has been here since I got here a little bit before 5 o'clock. There's been a nice crowd that's been developing here because you know when the Embers are coming that a party is coming as well. And yeah, it's hot, but we got a couple things going in our favor. The fact that the sun eventually is going to set, if that still happens. Also,
we think it will. We'll go out on a limb and say it will.
Yeah, it probably. Junior League of Greenville providing the adult beverages. We got those going on. We got trees. I'm standing under a tree right now, and it still feels fantastic. And listen, when the Embers start playing, nothing else is really going to matter because you're going to get lost in a great show.
It is a classic band for Eastern North Carolina. You've heard them before because they play at a lot of different places, but it doesn't get a whole lot better than the Embers. So, hey, it gets underway at 6 o'clock. Is that right?
That is correct. Everybody's got a great – I feel like you talk to anybody in Eastern North Carolina, they've got a great Embers show memory.
Yeah.
Like, even a couple years ago when he got everybody up, like my kids were up there dancing like teaching them the funky chicken. It was it's just a wonderful memory. They were like, they weren't sure if they were going to go up. They ended up going up and having a great time. And that's a really important thing here. As I'm looking around the landscape of the town common, I'm seeing kids with their parents, maybe more than any of the other shows. And this is just such a wonderful show for the entire family to enjoy.
Bingo. All right, come on out. Greenville Town Common, 6 o'clock. Embers on stage. And stop by and say hi to Mark Miller in 107.9. Hey, by the way, Mark, last week you were so kind and you promoted the Greenville All-Star fundraiser, which took place over near the football practice field. Did you hear the news? They brought home the bacon last night. Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They are absolutely amazing. And it seems like there are a couple of Greenville teams that are continuing in their quest.
Yeah, well, they won the state last night, and the All-Star from the Tar Heels, 12-year-olds, they have a bye night tonight, and they will play the winner in the loser bracket that will come out and play them tomorrow night. So they could be going on
Truly
to
amazing.
one. Yeah, Greenville and baseball.
Be their third time in the regionals since 2017. We've been following them. We have some. I mean, as my kids have grown up playing baseball, some of these kids we start seeing, we're like, hey, remember you played baseball with that kid like 4 years ago? We played t-ball with that guy. I know that guy.
Yep. It's
So
it's
really awesome
what
to
makes
see.
a community.
Congratulations to them.
Absolutely. All right, Mark. Hey, listen, we'll see you down at the Embers. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the call.
Sounds
All right.
good.
By the way, weather and your Embers report brought to you by the Ironwood Golf and Country Club, voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row. Ironwood Golf and Country Club boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino design course, full-service dining and outdoor pool, tennis, and more. Our newly renovated 15,000-square-foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family. For a limited time, join Ironwood, pay zero initiation fees. Give them a call, 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville. 252-752-4653. Be a part of the best. So, talking about critical race theory, Senate Leader Phil Berger is calling for a state constitutional amendment for legislation to prevent public schools from indoctrinating students with critical race theory concepts. Now, what's interesting about this, there's been stories out in recent days. One, teachers' associations, including the North Carolina Association of Educators, they've come out and said, oh, we're not teaching that. And there are other stories that come out and say, we don't care what kind of state laws you pass, we're going to teach it anyway. So which is it? Now, Phil Berger talks in this press conference he held today about this new legislation to have a constitutional amendment that what they are saying is that, okay, well, we're not teaching the doctrine or the theology behind critical race theory, but in fact, you might not be doing that, but you're teaching critical race theory. Berger announced today that the Senate will take up legislation that forbids public schools from promoting certain discriminatory concepts, such as that one race or one sex is inherently superior to another race or sex. This bill also bans promoting concepts such as that particular privileges should be ascribed to a race or a sex, or that people solely due to their race or sex should feel guilt, anguish, or discomfort. And if you don't, critical race theory proponents say, if you don't feel guilty, that means you are guilty. Just in case you couldn't, you don't have a program, you can't follow all the details. If you don't feel discomfort, then you're obviously guilty. Quote, children must learn about our state's racial past and all its ugliness, including the cruelty of slavery to the 1898 Wilmington massacre to Jim Crow, Berger said at a news conference earlier today. But students must not be forced to adopt an ideology that is separate and distinct from history, an ideology that attacks the very foundations of the liberal order and that promotes present discrimination, so long as it's against the right people, as anti-racist, Berger said, reading from prepared remarks. Democrats and groups such as the American Civil Liberties Union of North Carolina came out against the legislation. Senator Jay Cudhurry, a Raleigh Democrat, called the bill a speech code and is un-American. This is so curious. So here you have a progressive that calls this speech code. Now, Senator, who exactly are the proponents of speech code? Who are the ones that are telling you what you can say and what you can't say and what you must say? Who are the ones that are out there proposing that if you don't ascribe the right pronoun to someone who is a biological male but has some issues and thinks he's a female, who are the people that are proposing that that individual should be able to sue you for a mammoth amount of money because you didn't prescribe the right pronoun? Who are proposing these laws that would say if you don't do it correctly, you don't use the right pronoun, you could be fired, or you have to go to sensitivity training? So if you see a man 6'2" with a beard, and you call him sir, and he wants to be called ma'am, who is proposing those speech codes laws? It's not conservatives. This bill is founded on the unfounded fear of critical race theory, the senator said during the Wednesday Senate Education Committee. Quote, this bill, I believe, attempts to do away with the so-called critical race theory what I really fear, it does away with its critical thinking in our classroom. Again, it's not conservatives that want to do away with true critical thinking. And by the way, liberals do not want kids to think. They want kids to be indoctrinated. In addition to the bill, Berger filed legislation on Wednesday to put on the ballot a state constitutional amendment saying the state shall not discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to any individual or group on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in the operation of public employment, public education, or public contracting. Berger said the amendment would show how North Carolina is affirming our commitment to the principles of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Affirmative action is used in North Carolina in places such as UNC Chapel Hill, which says an applicant's race is important but not dominant, and it is essential to improving diversity on campus, which enhances student academic experience. There is a federal lawsuit challenging North Carolina Chapel Hill's admission policy, and it's ongoing. You know, this is interesting because, and again, I refer back to when I sued the FCC, a very similar situation where you had affirmative action. Now, my case on the FCC was based on gender, not on race. But what happens is these institutions like UNC Chapel Hill or other institutions, by the way, similar hearings have gone before the Supreme Court. Similar colleges, state university, not North Carolina, but I think it was Michigan, and I think there's one in Texas that got to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that colleges cannot use racial preference when either hiring or when admitting students into the university. But yet they continue to do it. And they do it under the umbrella of, well, it's not, it's not decisive, but it's important. Well, quite frankly, you shouldn't even have it on the application if it's illegal. But they do. So it doesn't matter. I mean, these people totally ignore the law. The Supreme Court can come out and say that's unconstitutional. You can't do that. And they say, oh, okay. And they do it anyway. And part of the problem is when they do it anyway, nobody is held responsible. It happens over. I mean, I'm constantly harping on this, but nobody's ever held responsible. They just go on and, oh, I'm sorry, do over. Oh, I apologize. And they'll do it again. And until you personally hold the person that made the decision to break the law, until he feels the pain or she feels the pain of breaking the law, they're going to continue to do it. 3/5 of the Senate and the House would have to agree to put the amendment on the ballot for the 2022 primary election. Roy Cooper cannot veto constitutional amendments. Berger said these steps are needed because critical race theory has become ascendant in American culture and in the parts of North Carolina. North Carolina school districts have denied teaching critical race theory. Berger said that schools may not be teaching the doctrine, but they're teaching it. Republican Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson said the task force he created to document cases of indoctrination in schools will be released in a report next week. He said teachers have been reporting how they've been required to teach concepts they fundamentally disagree with. The issue of indoctrination in our classrooms is real, Robinson said. It's not someone's figment of someone's imagination. It's happening all across the state, unfortunately. Terry Stoops, a member of Robinson's task force, told lawmakers that they received reports such as students getting assignments, talking about whiteness in science, and being forced by teachers to accept that denying the role of racism makes you a racist. In May, the House passed a bill that would put new rules on how the public schools teach about race and history. It prohibits teaching concepts such as promoting that, quote, the United States was created by members of a particular race or sex for the purpose of oppressing members of another race or sex. House Bill 324 was reviewed by the Senate Education Committee on Wednesday, but no vote has happened yet. The House bill would be modified to include additional things that schools can't report. The list of 13 concepts includes, not limited, but includes The United States government should be violently overthrown. That's a concept that they're not going to promote. These are concepts that schools can't promote. Particular character traits, values, moral or ethical codes, privileges, or beliefs should be ascribed to a race or sex, or to an individual because of the individual's race or sex. The rule of law does not exist, but instead is a series of power relationships and struggles among racial or other groups. Again, you cannot be teaching that. You cannot be teaching that all Americans are not created equal and are not endowed by the Creator with a certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and government should deny any person within the government jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. Surprisingly, though, there are Democrats out there. Joyce Waddle, Mecklenburg County Democrat, said the bill will do the opposite of what supporters says will happen. They're working to oppose this bill. Can't make it up. And this was reported in the News and Observer. So if it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Again, they need 2/3 to get it passed. Will any Democrats come over and agree with it? I think so. We'll see. Hey, we got to take another time out. Lots more to talk about. Love to hear from you. 5618255. Stay with us. News and Views. Be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
A collection of question marks.
There's a lot of questions.
Why?
How?
No logic, no reason, no explanation. Just a prolonged nightmare.
Worst nightmare of their lives.
This long nationwide
nightmare.
We'll start collecting clues as to the whys, the whats, and the wheres.
Neighborhood by neighborhood, literally knocking on doors. This is your worst nightmare.
The nightmare.
It would be a nightmare.
Worst nightmare.
We will not end the nightmare. We'll only explain it.
Explain to us.
Because this
is News and Views with Tom and Benny on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
You know, it might be a nightmare for the Democrats. MSNBC anchor Stephanie Ruhle had an entire segment yesterday talking about how even though the next election for Congress is 2 years away, well, not quite 2 years away, 2 years from November, she's got a bad feeling. And one of the reasons she might have that bad feeling was there was a special election, a state election. It wasn't for federal office. It was state office down in Georgia. And the Republicans got a big win. Not so much for the Democrats. Georgia Republicans got a big win over Democrats in a special election for State House Tuesday night. Republican Devon Seabaugh defeated Democrat Priscilla Smith in an election for House District 34 with 63% of the vote. Former Senator Kelly Loeffler, who recently launched a nonprofit organization aimed at registering and reaching voters, Greater Georgia, celebrated GOP's win. Loeffler's group played a major role in turning out the Republican votes. She congratulated Devon Seabaugh. And while I don't want to take anything away from Kelly Loeffler's efforts, kudos to her. Glad she's doing it. I think the wind was behind Loeffler's sales and Seabaugh's sales as well, because of all the idiotic things that the Democrats are doing. Democrats basically think they have to be your nanny, and they have to tell you how to do everything. They have to tell you when to get up, when to go to bed, what to eat, when to go to the bathroom. Stacey Abrams, of course, she was her organization, Fair Fight. That's an oxymoron. She got sort of the pie in the face. But there's so many things going on right now that are just idiotic, from what they're doing with the economy, what they're doing with masks, what they're doing with the Middle East, the fact that we've got a president that the average American knows he's not all there. They know he's a puppet. They know he's taking a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that he can't make any real decisions, that if Joe Biden isn't there escorting him, he'd get lost somewhere in one of the hallways of the White House. The American people aren't stupid. See, Republicans, on the other hand, think, no, the American people, let them keep their tax money, let them make their own decisions. We don't have to dictate. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that Democrats, the ones who told us for decades, you can't legislate morality, and now they want to legislate everything that you do and say. And the Americans are sick of it. They're tired of it. They're tired of Fauci. They're tired of Roy Cooper and his life. And I think that's the reason why. I mean, I agree with Stephanie Ruhle. I think Democrats are going to get a shellacking. We don't have to worry about campaigning. We don't have to worry about coming up with the right issues. We just have to be concerned that we actually have a fair and honest election. The reason why the Democrats are in there, and I've been very consistent on this, I do not think Joe Biden is the legitimate elected president of the United States. And that's another thing. I think the vast majority of Americans at least think that there was underhandedness in the last election. Now, I don't know if a majority of them would say that it turned the election, but the majority of them would recognize that there's underhandedness took place in the last election. They see that and they're sick of it. And they know which party is doing it. They know which party is defunding the police. They know which party is coming out and rioting and encouraging the rioting. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. And look, it's not a racial issue. Exhibit A, Larry Elder, black conservative. He announced yesterday he's going to be running against Newsom out in California for the governorship. You want to spend a couple of extra dollars? Send some money to Larry Elder. Look, we're North Carolina. I know that's a whole country away. Cut him a check for $25. Send it out to him. It's not a black-white issue. They're saying, this is a racist country. We elected Barack Obama. We're a black racist country, especially here in the South. We elected Mark Robinson. By the way, the Federalist ran an interesting article a couple days ago. Just the evidence is becoming more and more overwhelming down in the Georgia election, which, again, it was not only affected the presidential election, but it also affected the Senate. We have those two rogue senators, Warnock and his sidekick, which I just went brain dead. I can't remember what the other guy's name is. But they have come out now and just more and more. It's overwhelming evidence. They've gone back, and these ballots that have been scanned twice, they now have overwhelming evidence that they've been scanned multiple times. They have overwhelming evidence that some 35,000 Georgians voted illegally. You know, the state of Georgia, under the guise of COVID. What a load of baloney that was. Under the guise of COVID, we have to just send out absentee ballot after absentee ballot, and people got them and voted. Who knows how many multiple times, but we know for sure there's a guy out there named Davis, Mark Davis, president of the Data Productions Company, Inc. They do analytics for voter data. And he says there is potentially over 35,000 Georgians who had voted illegally. They did not vote. They weren't living in the county that they said they were in. And that number is actually going up as new data comes in. Those are the kind of things. And look, people, the Democrats can say all they want. The media can say all they want that, Donald Trump, he made it all up. And, they saw what happened on January the 6th. They see the double standard of how the law is being applied to the people that were protesting on January 6th versus the people who were rioting and burning down cities. Americans are not dumb. Americans are not stupid. They see the double standard, and they're sick of it. And I think that's why you're going to find out come November of 2022, I think the Democrats are going to get a shellacking. And again, the key is not campaigning. The key is making sure we have fair elections. In Texas, they want to have fair elections. There's legislation down in Texas, and I'm sure you've seen the picture of those clever, witty Texan Democrats, state senators and Congress and House members fleeing from Texas so that Republicans cannot pass election integrity legislation. You've probably seen the picture. They're all sitting on the plane with their big cheesy grins. Did you notice anything interesting about that picture? They're sitting there. Somebody got up and said, smile for the camera. Chartered plane full of these state legislators flew up to Washington, D.C. They said they're going to, and they act like they're hostages. We're the freedom fighters. We're doing this for the freedom of America, for the freedom of Texas, because we don't want people to be disenfranchised. Go look at that picture. It's something really interesting. What's missing? Not a one of them have a mask on. Which, by the way, there is a fine of up to $35,000 per incident of not wearing a mask on a charter airplane. Now, I'm not proposing that masks are the end all, but these are the same people that would have passed this legislation or the bureaucratic mandates of some agency saying if you don't wear a mask on a charter plane, you can be fined $35,000. Not to worry, because again, we have a double standard when it comes to applying the law. If you're a liberal Democrat, no big deal. Don't you worry about it. You just do whatever you want. You pass your laws, and we're not going to apply them to you. We're strictly going to apply them to conservatives, to Republicans. If they break the law, we'll lock them up, and we'll make sure that they pay every dime of the $35,000. Liberals, you tricky liberals, don't worry about it. Wow. Biden singled out Texas Republicans in March. He said they were Neanderthal thinking because they said that people should not have to wear masks. Well, the Democrats from Texas are not wearing masks in their chartered airplane.
Well, isn't that special?
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's take another time out. We come back. Jen Psaki. She does not want to condemn communism in Cuba. It's just mismanagement. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you, Jen.
Got a trade? Now's the time at Greenville Toyota. Never in history has your trade been worth more. Get paid today. Then get a new Toyota hot off the delivery truck. Hurry before they're gone. Like Camrys, $189 a month. Rush to Greenville Toyota.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. Let me take you dancing.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Toyota shoppers, now's the time at Greenville Toyota. Shipments of factory fresh Toyotas are arriving daily and being sold almost immediately, like Corollas for $159 a month.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Congratulations to Rocky Baker. He is a amateur fisherman up on the Roanoke River. He and his buddy Justin Clifton They might be listening in. Congratulations, guys. They now hold the state record, reeled in a 127-pound catfish last week. Wow. Apparently they let it go. They officially weighed it so they could get in the record book. 127-pound catfish. That is a lot of fish. Jen Psaki has refused to condemn communism in Cuba, as Jesse Jackson would call it, blames mismanagement on the government. So it's not communism, it's strictly mismanagement.
Do you think that people are leaving Cuba because they don't like communism?
I think we've been pretty clear that we think people are leaving Cuba, or not leaving Cuba, or protesting in the streets as well, because they are opposed to the oppression, to the mismanagement of the government in the country. And we certainly support their right to protest. We support their efforts to speak out against their treatment in Cuba.
She would not condemn communism. She said that it was mismanagement. And this is a big deal. She would not come out and look, there are plenty of Republicans that have come out. Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, who both are, their families are from Cuba. They've come out and said it's communism is the problem. Psaki wouldn't say, it's mismanagement. They just haven't done it the right way. Their version of communism just wasn't, but if we could do it here, we'd get it right. Yeah, that's mismanagement. They're not managing their communism right. By the way, Florida residents are using their own boats and attempting to supply the protesters with food and aid as the pro-democracy protesters in Cuba continue. This will be interesting. I mean, Cuba does not have a powerful hammer that like a communist China or even a Russia has. I mean, this country is ripe for having protesters have a pro-democracy revolution. Gateway Pundit is reporting our nation's school systems insist that children who have very little chance of catching COVID and even less chance of having a severe case of COVID and basically a zero chance of dying of COVID, but yet they must wear a mask, right? We all know that. Well, now the Gateway Pundit is reporting that in the Chicago school system, not only is it mandatory that you must wear a mask in school, but now the Chicago Public School Systems is making it mandatory to provide free condoms to fifth graders. Fifth graders! Unbelievable. You think that school choice this is another exhibit of why parents are voting Republican. You think school choice, homeschooling is going to be more popular? I think so. It's this kind of craziness that's making it popular. Hey, thanks for being with us. Good to be back. We'll do it again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Play a little political trivia. Don't forget, Embers down on the town common in Greenville starts in 3.5 minutes. We'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, all right, all right.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's Got to Be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store. So tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.